What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and it absolutely looks like Brian Laundrie has been found. It looks like he is probably not alive, and it looks like the parents knew exactly where he was the entire time. I'll be able to lay out exactly why I believe this is developing right now. I'll cover this all day. I may do an additional video later once we have a positive ID, but right now it looks it looks very likely that they just found him. So make sure you click that red subscribe button down below so you can find my videos as they get released. Now, this morning, some articles, quote unquote, belonging to Brian Laundrie were found at a Florida park. But you might think, okay, well, now we know for sure he was there, probably at some point, probably in the immediate past. But the way they were found tells me exactly that the parents knew exactly where he was, and they proved it to me today, and it is actually mind-boggling. So this particular park has been closed for a month. All right, now I'm gonna lay this out for you, and you leave a like on it if you think I'm right. This park has been closed for a month. Okay, it was set to reopen today. Suddenly, Brian Laundrie's parents phoned the police last night and said they'd like to do another search this morning. Okay, that's odd. And within minutes of arriving on scene, they happen upon some of Brian Laundrie's belongings. This is after a search that has been going on for a month. Let me repeat. A month of searching netted nothing. The parents knew they were done searching there, okay? The parents knew they were done searching there. Then magically, they said, oh, well, hey, we got nothing going on tomorrow. We should probably go search. And bam! They found his stuff. Now, you leave a like if you think that Brian Laundrie's parents knew exactly where he was. Since they found his stuff, a medical examiner has been called to the scene. Hundreds of police and mobile command centers have arrived on scene. Tents have been erected to hide from helicopters and everything. They have his body. There's no doubt in my mind. He's definitely not alive. That's also, which is really sucks, because I really wanted to see this clown stand trial. He almost certainly offed himself. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that later today we will have confirmation that it is him. The parents have been on the scene. The medical examiner's on the scene. They've got cadaver dogs on the scene. The parents knew exactly where he was. This is absolutely exactly what we all expected. We all thought that the parents knew exactly where he was. I will not be convinced otherwise. Look at the timeline. Look at the timeline that has happened, okay? 28 minutes ago, some quote articles belonging to Brian Laundrie found at Florida Park. Brian's parents, Chris and Roberta Laundrie, informed the FBI and Northport Police Department Tuesday night that they intended to come to the park Wednesday morning, the day it was supposed to reopen. The day it was supposed to reopen, to search for him. Law enforcement met with them at the park this morning, and after, quote, a brief search near a trail that he frequented, the family and law enforcement found some articles belonging to him, meaning the parents took them exactly where he was. The parents knew where he was, and they are going to get charged. I strongly believe that the parents just said, okay, all right, enough. You guys aren't going to find him? You guys aren't going to find him? Oh, no. Maybe something really bad happened. Okay, you guys are giving up the search? All right, well, here, let's just show you where he is. Now, 5 minutes later, the medical examiner being called to the scene. Now, does that mean they found a body? Not necessarily, but probably. Or some human remains of some sort. Now, he's been gone a month. Let's say he went out there and did himself in that day, right? He went out to the park and, I don't know, whatever he did, ended himself. A month of decomp, that's significant. And the fact that nobody has found him, come on. Sarasota medical examiner has now been called to the Carlton Reserve. I was wrong. I thought for sure he wasn't in the Carlton Reserve. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office confirmed also that a cadaver dog is on the scene, as well as 2 spotters. The Laundrie family attorney, Stephen Berlino, has no comment when asked about the coroner arriving on the scene. Earlier Wednesday, they told CNN that some articles of his were found on a trail that Laundrie frequented in Myakatchee Creek Environmental Park. Berlino also said earlier that Laundrie's parents, Chris and Roberta Laundrie, informed the FBI, Northport PD, that they intended to go to the park and search for him. Because they knew where he was, bro. 8 minutes ago, additional teams of first responders arriving on the scene. Canine officers. Good doggos. Get your nom-noms. Now, that would be absolutely amazing if we could get some bork nom-noms on Brian. I'd love to see Donut break that down. But they found him. They now know where his items are. And by the way, shout out to all the other crimes that were solved during this. It helps make it feel a little bit worth it. I think they found 5 or 6 other missing people and apprehended a couple of fugitives. So, I mean, ultimately, you see, government officials involved in this case will not stop until they find him. This is a newsbreak. His parents should be giving a restraining order against all of the people on their streets, Medical examiner called in after items belonging to Brian Laundrie, the missing fiance. I mean, why would the medical examiner be there? They found him. Or part of him. Here's what other interesting. Brian Laundrie's parents stop at FedEx to ship a mysterious box labeled meal kit as they dodge questions about their son's whereabouts after breaking cover for a 5-hour shopping trip. Meal kit. I mean, it could just be a return. They could just be returning something. This looks like a reused box to me, to be honest. I actually felt bad. Good God, Zooks Demi Rose, whoever you are. First on their 5-hour shopping trip, the couple headed to their local Walmart superstore, coming out an hour later with a cart full of cases of water, bagged up items. As they put their groceries in their truck, they ignored media questions. Is your son still alive? Are you in contact with him? The pair then made for an AT&T phone store, but it was closed, so they headed to a nearby Bank of America and stood patiently outside until it opened at 9 a.m. Both were casually dressed. They were second in line as the doors opened and stayed 35 minutes before hitting the road again and stopping at FedEx. They then headed north, what's interesting, to another AT&T store. Both went in with Roberta wearing a mask, and they stayed half an hour. Were they paying Brian's secret cell phone bill? You would think, by the way, that if they had some sort of secret cell phone, Brian had some sort of phone, the FBI would know about it. I just feel like they probably would know about it. I have felt bad for these parents. Like, I really have. The people showing up at their house and all this stuff, it felt like it was all too much. It really did. But now I am very convinced, until I hear otherwise, that they absolutely knew where he was. I'm not sure why you would have the coroner there, right? Now, is it another random body? Maybe. Probably not. This is, what's interesting is this might actually also prove that his parents were telling the truth all along. That the Laundries who then claimed that their son went there on September 13th, he really did. But, a dead body in the Florida sun for 5 weeks, there probably isn't much left of it. Animals and everything else picking at it. I wouldn't be shocked if they had just some pile of whatever, bones, and mild amounts of flesh. If it's an item that you knew belonged to him, he left with only a backpack, so he didn't have very much with him, did he? Now, the couple left the park at 8:45 and appeared emotional when confronted by protesters there. Meanwhile, about a dozen uniformed law enforcement officers, approximately 6 people in plainclothes, could be seen entering the park, with several PD or unmarked vehicles and gators seen entering. Northport Mobile Command Center have arrived at the park shortly after 10:30. The Laundries returned home shortly after. To me, they definitely have found him. Now, will they put out information? Here's the weird thing. The police, for 5 weeks, FBI, dogs, Dog the Bounty Hunter, we can't find anything. Brian Laundrie's parents show up there for 30 minutes and say, here he is. Oh, here's his stuff. What? We didn't know anything, but what a coincidence. What a coincidence. This also probably disproves all of the other sightings that we saw. Now, here's the bag of the actual belongings that Brian, Roberta, and Chris miraculously found on a trail that he often used in 30 minutes. Looks like some flip-flops, maybe something like that. I don't know if that really is, why is he picking it up with his bare hand? Maybe the parents put it there. Everyone's really angry. After 5 weeks of intense investigation and searching from the FBI, how do the belongings of Brian appear near one of his favorite spots conveniently when his parents show up and help for the, quote, search? Did the parents plant it? Maybe. Maybe they got word that he was going to hurt himself. I think the parents went and said goodbye, and he offed himself. You guys let me know what you think. I hope you were entertained by this video. Make sure you subscribe to stay in tune with all the latest updates, and we'll talk to you again real soon.